Hello and welcome to India's coolest online talk show, Chai with me, Lakshmi. We are at www.chaiwithlakshmi.in. Check us out for fabulous webisodes, articles, tea time recipes, and a fantastic store. We're also on Facebook and Twitter. That's facebook.com/Chai with Lakshmi, and the Twitter handle is at Chai with Lakshmi. That's CHAIWITHLAKSHMI. And now for today's fabulous webisode, you are about to meet an absolutely inspiring entrepreneur. Muki Regunathan first attempted entrepreneurship straight after college. 17 years on, he's failed 7 times but succeeded on the 8th. His 8th enterprise is a digital agency called Pepper Square. In its 10th year, this business has serviced over 250 clients and has over 70 staff. Today, Muki joins me to share about his failures, learnings, and to talk about giving back. Muki, 7 failures. 7 failures as an entrepreneur, and then you went on to start up an 8th time, all over again. And look at you today, you're absolutely successful and you're this marvelous person I look up to. I want you to share with us about all those failures and starting up again.
Thank you so much, Lakshmi. It's a pleasure to be with Chai with Lakshmi. There was a friend of mine who told me that you should not share your success to people. You should share your failure because success will be known by everybody, right? If you're not successful, then your failure has no story to tell, right? So it's very important to understand that you have to be successful and you got to keep working on it, and it's not that difficult. 7 times when I say I failed, it is not that I just started a company in my house and then failed. I have employed people, I have paid them money, I've got contracts, I've got so many companies registered, and then I've failed. If you're an entrepreneur and you have failed, you should have gone through a cycle, which means you have registered a company, you have hired people, you have customers, and they were not paying, or the company went bankrupt, or some problems like that which connects the entire cycle, right? It may not be that you have to be with it for 5 years or 2 years, but you should have gone through that entire cycle. So like that, 7 times I've failed, and I can't give up. That's my problem. So why did I fail? I think the lessons I learned from there, I would like to put it that the lessons I learned, that if you cannot scale, you should not start. That's my first learning, right? So in order to scale, you should be able to automate things. You should be able to reach out to more people. You cannot be there. It's like starting a restaurant, right? So when you start a restaurant, you have to be there in one place. When you want to scale, it's very hard. You're not there. So which means you have to understand the processes. Number 2, it's very important to bring in people together. You may have a great passion. You may have fantastic idea. Can you make sure that the others who come and join you have the similar passion? Largely, people do not have the similar passion as much as you do. Otherwise, they'll be starting their own company, right? So you need to bring in like-minded people. You got to take them along. So I think that's one of the learnings I had. Number 3, it's very important to take your business quickly to the next level. If you don't have traction, you can't make money, then you don't have a cash flow. So if you don't have a cash flow, you cannot fuel your dreams. The other one I learned is, it is very hard to go there, sell a product to a customer. Initial days, I used to sell my services, but I never told a story. Today I tell a story. It's all about what they want, how you want to take their business rather than selling your own services. I think one point, Lakshmi, I wanted to tell you is that, which is very close to my heart. I'm a perfectionist, like the way you are in your videos and stuff. You always talk about one frame is missing, one is that. I always create a space for others' imperfection. Otherwise, I could have never made it today. I think it's very, very important, because when I started, I made so many mistakes, right? It's okay to make mistakes. It's perfectly all right to fail. It's perfectly all right to make mistakes. But I don't want to repeat the same mistake. I want to fail fast. I don't want to fail last. I want to fail fast, because it's too short a life, and I have very few more productive years to go. So I got to be much more acceptable to change.
Muki, obviously, getting through 7 failures and starting up again wouldn't have been easy for you. And also, it wouldn't have been easy for people supporting you, particularly your family. How did they deal with it? How did they cope with it?
My wife has been the greatest supporter here. Uh, Joe also works in Pepper Square. So, since she works in Pepper Square, she understands even better. So, I would suggest everybody make sure that their family member joins their startup so that the life is easy, because you don't have to explain her that you don't have money. I think people around me are wonderful. My brother has been a great support because we have an office, full-fledged office in America. So I started in his house, and he's been a wonderful guy. He never says anything to me. And all my friends, there are some of my closest friends, whenever I go abroad, they come and pick me up. I don't have to spend money in staying there. I get free food. And they do it even today. They've been wonderful. I think without people's support, it's impossible. I think more than everybody, Pepper Square team has been my family. They're wonderful guys. And they've been brilliant people. We have people who've been working with us for the last 8.5 years. So that shows that commitment. 32% of our employees been with us for more than 4.5 years. They still work with us. So it's wonderful.
One of the things I recall about you from speaking to you earlier and also speaking to your team is that you're very involved with people. You're happy to get personal. You're happy to get to know people, and you're happy to offer advice. You offer a lot of mentoring advice to a lot of entrepreneurs. I see this overwhelming sort of drive in you to give back and to share the success, right? So after all these failures, it hasn't been about holding it to yourself, but it's about sharing it. I want to know why. What drives that?
I think it goes back to, my upbringing. Credit goes to my mom and dad. My dad is no more. He died almost 19 years ago. He said one thing which I'll never forget in my life. He said that there is only one thing anyone can do with anybody without their knowledge, is that sucking their knowledge. So I always believed in taking the knowledge and giving it back, because the more you give it, the more you learn. I don't charge for mentorship. I will never ever charge for that. And I want to do that. I want to give it back as much as possible, because there's so much this country has offered me, and I want to give it back. The best way to give it is share your ideas with people. Entrepreneurs are the only way to take this country forward.
Thank you. Fantastic having you on the show.
Lakshmi, I wanted to thank you so much for this. I've known you for quite some time, and I look up to you as a women entrepreneur. You should become the Chai with Lakshmi should become the #1 brand in India, and I wish you guys all the very best.